Hello everybody. Yes, I warned you I'd be back, and here I am. I'm still trying to get my camera to be nice and sit where I want it, not where it necessarily just wants to hang out. Anyway, hi. Sorry about the scrabbling and crackling with the microphone. I'm going to try to do actually a couple of the videos that I have listed on my I'll Be Back holder on YouTube, and we will see how far we get. Yes, I have currently a bare face and just my glasses and some rather brightly colored clothes. I warned you about that. Anyway. Yes, I'm still fiddling. Okay, let's see if we've got this set now. What I'm going to do is, I believe I'm going to start off with the one where I'm going to figure out which way is better, either the concealer first or the concealer after the foundation, because there are people asking that. Is it better to do it first, or is it better to do it after? Now, after a little break on that one, I'm going to come back and show you why it's recommended that you don't necessarily bake your under eye when you're no longer a young bird. It's real simple. I'll show you. Anyway, I'm going to pop my glasses off and grab my primer and my foundation and my favorite current concealer, and let's get started with this. Yep. 60-year-old face, lots of wrinkles, hooded eyes, hello, yep, and my little dog barking in the background. Thanks a lot, Finnegan. You're a big help to Mommy. Anyway, this is currently my favorite primer, and I'm going to put it on right under my eyes, just little tiny bits. Actually, I may smear it a little farther than that because the stuff goes a long way. This is the e.l.f. primer, and it's the hydrating primer. Lovely stuff. Some of my favorite thing in the whole world. Now, during this little project, you will get to see my very red cheeks still hanging out, and I'm not actually going to do a whole eye look. I'm just going to work in this area through here with a little bit of the concealer and a little bit of foundation. Now, let's see. We will start with my favorite current concealer, which is the Instant Age Rewind by Maybelline. It's pretty good stuff. And I use the color 20p, which is pretty pale, but then again, yeah, I'm kind of pale. On this eye, I'm not going to try and say right or left because I am a terrible person and have dyslexia, and I'll say it wrong the next time. This eye, I am going to go ahead and put the concealer on and blend it out and try and cover all of these. Yeah, I've got these Little vein here. This one's even worse. Lots of veins, lots of veins. Lots of discoloration in lots of places. So, yeah, I've got spots too. I'm not as bad off as a few people that I know, but I do have lupus, and occasionally just being out in the sun turns my face into spot central. Alrighty. Now, I try not to get too enthusiastic with how far out I go with concealer, because what I like to do is be able to actually blend it down instead of laying tons of concealer in big patches. I don't feel that that is quite necessary, even with the amount of under eye baggage I have. And what I'm using is just a little flat. So depending on who you talk to, they will either say it's a concealer brush or a flat shader. It's just a flat brush, and it fits up under here while I'm doing this. I don't know why my nose has decided it wants to be itchy again. Okay, now got my primer on. I'm taking my current favorite stick foundation. It's by Flower. I like it. Pore Perfect Instant Blur Stick. It's got a blur primer here that I put on some of my more problem areas, even with the other primer. And then it's got foundation. And it's one of my favorites because it goes on smooth, it hangs in, it's great stuff. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do this side. Go ahead and just put that on the bare skin. Well, the primered skin. And take my favorite foundation brush currently. This one is one of the AOA Studios that I've told you about. And it's one of the toothbrush types. And I love the bristles. I love how soft it is. I love the way it blends out. I barely have to touch to get this blended with the concealer. Now, I am not going to worry about powdering this down anytime soon because, like I said, I'm going to use some of this to do the next film portion, which will be the one about to bake or not to bake when you've got mature skin. Now, this is spreading out just fine, like it did when I used it on the other side. I think I may have gotten a little much on, but that's okay. It's doing its usual thing of blending real nice with and playing real well with the concealer. Now, I am not going to tell you that either version of this is going to make all of your wrinkles and your bumps and your lumps disappear. It's just not going to happen if you're a certain age and older. It's just, that's the way it is. Now, again, we're looking at this side that has the concealer down already and the foundation over it. It looks relatively smooth. It's starting to dry down just fine. There's no cakey, clashing stuff. There's no lumps of product that have rolled up. It hasn't peeled off. And it's no more creasy than it would be any other time I use anything on my crepey eyes. Now, I'm going to take same concealer, same color, all that, same foundation on both sides, same primer underneath both sides, and I'm going to put the concealer on over the foundation. And see if it actually makes any difference in the way they look. I'm getting my other little AOA Studio brush. Well, it's not the littlest one, but this is the one I tend to use for doing concealer if I'm not using the flat brush. That's the only difference here. And just blend that in. Hopefully get that vein to at least not show up quite so much. And just blend that in with the foundation so that there's no like obvious lines or color break. Again, the only reason I'm using this brush in particular is because I happen to like it. We'll get into that stuff when I get to the tools bit. How's that? Anyway, I'm not seeing whole lots of difference. There's up close that side, there's up close that side. And I haven't actually blended out around the nose, so I'm not really worried about that. But right now, it's where it's kind of gotten globbed up a little bit because I wasn't working there. So, at least for me, as far as I am concerned, we have now settled this question as to whether you should necessarily put your foundation on first or your concealer on first. I don't really think, unless you've got something odd about either one of them, or there's a special formula you're working with, I don't really think you've really got that much of a problem. Doing it either way, it's whatever feels comfortable. Go for it. Just, put your stuff on. You may have a little problem doing it this way if you're using a powder foundation. If you're using a powder foundation, I would definitely suggest do the concealer first. Because trying to put a cream over a powder is just, it's a disaster waiting to happen. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You'll be wiping your face down in a few minutes trying to get the mess off. Anyway, I don't see that we have a problem doing it whichever way you're more comfortable with. We have the same question that some people do with color correction. Some people want to do the color correction first. That way their foundation covers over any of the odd colors. Some people want to do their color correction after the foundation has already gone down, because then they don't have as much to correct. I mean, you can see where the foundation is that it's already, because of the color of the foundation, helped correct some of my red patches in my cheeks. So, again, that's up to you. Play with it. Go out, get some stuff, get some foundation, get some concealer, whatever brand you prefer. Play with a few brands. Get some inexpensive ones and play with them. Get concealers that match. Get concealers that don't match. It doesn't matter. But play with them. See which way seems to you to work for you. I'm just here to show you what works for me and give you some suggestions. If it works for you, hallelujah. If what I'm showing you doesn't work for you, sorry, let me give you some advice on some. There's plenty, and I do plenty, loads of other makeup advice people on YouTube. I'm just one of them. And there are a bazillion techniques for applying makeup. Everybody's got their own way to do it. Go for it. Have fun. Be good.